Hey guys, welcome back to Snowball Investing. I'm back with a new microphone. I'm still playing with the settings, seeing what sounds good, but let me know how it sounds in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel and have not seen any of my videos, what I do is transparently walk through all of my investing portfolios, show you how they're performing, my thoughts on the current stocks I've got, things I've been buying, things I've been selling, and just be transparent with my investing journey. If you do like these videos, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps the channel grow. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the Freetrade Stocks and Shares ISA. The value of the Stocks and Shares ISA sits at £96,456, and it's up by £33,124. Looking at the monthly chart, it's actually been a very good month. Last month it was around the 89,000. And we actually peaked around 100,000, which is a massive milestone, especially for a Stocks and Shares ISA. But it's had a slight dip since, and I'll kind of touch on that in a little bit. But yeah, great milestone to hit, although didn't last very long. Benchmarking my ISA against the FTSE All ETF, my ISA is up by 62% on a time-weighted rate return, with the FTSE All ETF is up by 18.47, so a considerable outperformance of the ISA so far. But as you can see, there were times when I was very underperforming the FTSE All ETF, and that's just what happens when you pick volatile stocks. They may dip down quite a bit, but then they can also bounce up quite a bit. So very happy with the performance so far. It's also been a pretty good month in terms of dividends, so almost a total of £60 worth. Let's take a quick look at them. SL Green Realty was the monthly dividend. That came in at £13.04. Hershey's, which is a new addition to my ISA, that came in at £8.26. Microsoft, £2.26. Again, small dividend for that play. And Truist, a very large £36.49, which is great to see. Looking at some of these individual positions, Palantir Royalty's biggest holding, that is now at £46,835, and I'm up by 116%. And to be fair, it's been a pretty good month for Palantir up until the last Friday. As you can see, the minus 0.673%. If we look at the monthly chart, I was actually buying about a month ago when the price was in the $20 to $21 range, but since then it's pretty much gone up, reaching almost a peak of $26.57, and that's when my portfolio was above 100,000. It's great to see that, but it's obviously had a little dip, and the reason for that is there was a analyst who downgraded the price to $20, which is fine, and it's great for me because I still want to accumulate shares. My buy range is again in the $20 to $21 range, so I'm happy for this to be lower for longer, as it just means I have more time to accumulate shares. Next up, we have the FTSE All ETF, which is pretty much reaching all-time highs, which is great to see, but also a lot of enthusiasm in the market. So I'm a little bit careful when everything keeps going up without any major pullbacks. But this sits at a healthy £7,162 and is up 25%. Rocket Lab is also doing very well, so that's up 23%. Slightly gutted I didn't buy more at the $3.50 range, but you know, hindsight's 2020, and I still think there's time to accumulate more at great prices. Very volatile stock, so I'm being very patient on this. SL Green Realty also performing very well at plus 93%. Alphabet reaching all-time highs, £3,372, a nice position there. Truist, another dividend place, that's £3,077 and up 21%. And SoFi, unfortunately, one of the laggers, FinTech hasn't been doing so well, so that's down minus 13%. PayPal is next, and also another FinTech that's lagging, unfortunately down minus 12%. Can't seem to catch a break this stock, but I think long term, I'm still holding faith. Meta, smashing it, you know, up 151%. Microsoft still doing quite well, that's up 65%. I just wish I bought more big tech when it really dipped. But, you know, these are great companies that you can hold for a very long time, and I've got high confidence, high conviction in these big tech stocks. A stock that hasn't been doing as well is Snowflake, down 18%. You could say unfairly down, but again, it gives me an opportunity to buy more shares. Obviously don't have as much conviction as in Palantir, hence the difference in the positions. But a stock I'm willing to hold for 5 to 10 years, and I think it will still outperform the FTSE All-World ETF. Carnival has been pretty flat in the past month, and it's still a position I want to grow. I do want a balanced portfolio, so obviously I've got a very large position in Palantir because it's a high conviction play, but I also want dividend stocks, and it's nice to receive dividends every so often. It's that nice dopamine hit. But yeah, I mean, there's no harm in having a balanced portfolio of growth, big tech, dividends. And there's another reason why I've also been buying Hershey's, which you saw the dividend earlier. That's down 7.19%, but these positions I'm looking to build into much bigger ones. And just a quick look at some of these other smaller positions. Obviously, DraftKings smashing it also, up 152%, which is crazy. Actually outperforming Meta in my portfolio. We've got Dutch Bros up 41%, Disney up 18%, Enphase Energy, that's now down 3.36%. I did sell a few stocks, which I mentioned in my last update. Persimmon, that's a UK-based stock, which also provides a dividend. That's up 23%. And Apple's performing quite well with their new AI announcements. That's up 29.96%. So all in all, I think a very good month for my ISA. Obviously, Palantir is a big driver of that. But I'm actually sitting on a fair bit of cash, around 6,500 worth. I think there's probably a little bit too much excitement in the market. So I'm got some cash on the sidelines. When there is a dip, and eventually there will be a dip, how big that is yet to be seen. I have that cash ready to deploy on stocks which I think are undervalued. So yeah, at the minute, really looking to build up that cash pile and redeploy it when I think the time is right. So that concludes the stocks and shares ISA. So let's now move over to the general investment account. The value of the general investment accounts is at £18,656 and is up by a fairly respectable 6,456. Comparing my GIA performance to the all-world index, the time-weighted rate of return of the GIA is 57.83%, where the all-world ETF is up by 18.47%, so equally outperforming the ETF as with my ISA. Looking at the holdings in this portfolio, it's a fairly similar picture to my ISA, so a lot of the shares I bought here overlap. For example, Meta, although I bought at a much better price, the value of this is 6,386 and is up by 212%. So it's my biggest performer out of all of my portfolios. Alphabet is up 57.2%. I've actually got Amazon in this portfolio and it's up by 77%. Enphase Energy, one of the laggers, so that's down 16%. Microsoft, again, bought at a much better price in my GIA, that's up 68%. Intel, I actually sold in my ISA and redeployed it into other stocks, but in here it's, I'm just leaving it be. That's down 11.67%. JP Morgan, doing quite well actually, so that's up 60%. We've got Starbucks, had a tough couple of months, so that's nearly break even now. Neo, as always, is one of my worst performing stocks. That's down minus 73.38%. As I've mentioned in some of my older videos, I'm not deploying any more cash to this GIA. The plan is I'm going to leave most of these holdings be. If I'm unable to maximize ISA in the future years, I can look to potentially sell some stuff from this account, bearing in mind the capital gains limits, which aren't very high. But for the time being, stocks are where they are, and I'm not adding any more to these positions. Last but not least, it's my Vanguard general account. So the value of this is £16,466. And as you can see, it's made up of only the S&P 500, of which the gain is £3,661. I used to deploy £200 every single month into this as a direct debit, a set and forget. However, I stopped that and I'm now looking to deploy that cash elsewhere. And that may be a new video series that I start. So stay tuned. You may see some new videos very shortly. So that concludes the June 24 portfolio update. Hopefully that was interesting, and I'll catch you in the next month's update.